Welcome back to Night Owl Dream Stories.
Tonight we step quietly onto an island that most maps don't dare to show a place so removed from the world that even your most insistent thoughts might hesitate before arriving. The sky stretches overhead like a soft velvet curtain, and the faint smell of salt water drifts through the air, brushing your skin gently, a teasing reminder that yes, this is real, and no, you probably won't survive this level of calm without a nap halfway through. The dock beneath your feet creaks softly as you place one shoe in front of the other, your luggage, a modest bag, nothing flashy, squeaking along with every motion. A small bell tinkles somewhere in the distance, though it is not an alarm, only a signal, an invitation to proceed into stillness. If you genuinely enjoy mysteries, take a moment to like the video and subscribe. Let's ease into tonight's journey together. You inhale slowly, letting the warm ocean breeze fill your lungs, and immediately your shoulders begin to unburden themselves from the invisible weight you didn't know you carried. Around you, the water shimmers like melted glass, its gentle waves brushing against the shore in a rhythmic whisper, a lullaby you never realized you needed. The path ahead is lined with tall, patient trees whose leaves tremble faintly in the night wind, as if the island itself is breathing softly, welcoming you to a world where schedules have no power and clocks are politely ignored. A narrow stone path winds forward, warm under your feet, perfectly shaped to coax you into slow, deliberate steps. A small envelope rests atop a polished wooden table near the dock, one that seems too elegant to be ordinary, but too simple to demand attention. You pick it up and feel the texture of the thick paper, soft and almost feather-like under your fingertips. Inside is a card with 5 rules. No loud conversation after sunset, no phone calls anywhere on the island, no photography of other guests, no clocks inside the villas, and above all, respect the island's quiet. You tuck the card into your pocket without fuss. These rules feel more like a promise than a restriction, a gentle guideline meant to guide you into an unfamiliar rhythm you will soon crave. As you move forward along the path, the ocean's whisper grows fainter, and the island's interior reveals itself in soft, luxurious hints. The villas are visible now, their white walls tucked supplely among trees, each one a private haven. Even at a distance, you notice the way the light seems toe-bend around the buildings rather than reflect off them, how every window is curved, just in auto suggests softness. How even the private pools appear serene, almost like small contained lakes, the water perfectly still waiting for the sun to begin its slow climb. You stop for a moment, noticing the scent carried by the air. Salt water mixed with the subtle aroma of tropical flowers, some familiar, some you've never smelled before. The breeze carries a hint of jasmine and something deeper, earthier, a scent that seems to settle into your chest and make it lighter, like gravity itself has relaxed its hold. You realize your breaths are already slower, deeper, more deliberate, and a small smile tugs at the corner of your lips, because even before your first full step onto this island, it has begun to unravel the tension you didn't know you held. The villa nearest the path features a balcony with a hammock that sways slightly, almost magically, even though the air is still. A small table sits beside it with a pitcher of cool water, a few glasses, and a tiny tray of fruit that glows softly in the moonlight. The scene looks almost painted, but you know it is real because you can feel the subtle warmth of the stone beneath your feet, the delicate crunch of sand where the path meets the beach, the faint brush of wind across your cheeks. Here, everything conspires to convince you that you are supposed to slow down, toe-lave behind the need for hurry. You notice the staff now, almost ethereal in their quiet presence. They move with the softness of shadows, their steps inaudible, their motions precise but unforced. A waiter passes, holding a tray with glasses of water, and a small plate of fresh fruit. He gives you a gentle nod and disappears almost immediately, leaving the scene undisturbed, but somehow more complete, as if their quietude is the glue that holds the entire moment together. You realize the island's luxury is invisible. It doesn't demand attention, it only rewards perception, rewarding anyone patient enough to notice the soft details without needing them spelled out. By now, the stars above are bright, scattered across the sky in what seems like deliberate arrangement. One or two clouds drift lazily, moving slowly enough that your eyes can follow them without strain. The air is rich with subtle sounds, distant waves, leaves brushing against one another, and the occasional soft hum of an unseen insect. There is no city, no radio, no distant traffic. It is as if you have stepped into a bubble of tranquility, deliberately designed to make you forget what the world outside feels like. You trudge a little further along the path. Beautiful trudge is a generous word because each step feels feather-light, guided by the rhythm off the island. Eventually, the path opens into a small clearing, revealing a single villa in more detail. Its doors are open, revealing softly lit interiors, warm and welcoming. A faint aroma of herbs and tea drifts out, mingling with the sea breeze. You approach cautiously, as if not to disturb the perfection of the moment. The villa's windows are tall and slightly curved, catching the moonlight and reflecting it like a gentle glow that spreads across the polished wood of the porch. A small rug lies at the entrance, inviting you to pause, to feel the texture beneath your feet before even stepping inside. Inside, the villa is calm. Everything is muted but meticulously arranged. A small bookshelf holds bound journals and simple novels. A soft rug covers part of the floor, and a delicate lamp casts just enough light to see by without startling the eyes. You notice a small envelope on Thetable, identical in design to the one at the dock. But this one contains a small note welcoming you personally, reminding you to breathe, and reminding you that time here belongs entirely to you. You tuck it into your pocket, smiling faintly because even the most luxurious places usually demand attention, whereas this one simply waits, patient, elegant, and entirely silent. You wander toward the balcony, the soft glow of moonlight stretching across the polished wood. The hammock sways gently, inviting you to sit. You climb in carefully, letting your body sink into the fabric as though it were designed specifically to hold your shape. The ocean bay and sparkles faintly, each ripple catching the light in a delicate shimmer. There are no people non-ois, only the occasional whisper of leaves. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the scent, the warmth, and the sound wash over you. It is already working. Your mind slows, your shoulders relax, and the habitual buzzing of your thoughts begins to dissolve, replaced by calm observation. A soft breeze drifts across the balcony, brushing your hair and carrying a faint scent of salt and tropical blooms. You realize that even your own thoughts are slowing, becoming less urgent, less insistent. You remember, almost laughing to yourself, the absurdity of your usual rush, the morning coffee, the alarms, the endless notifications, and you marvel at how far away it all seems now. The island has claimed your attention, your senses, your very sense of timing. It is a subtle magic, not loud or showy, but deeply effective. The ocean continues its gentle rhythm, and you follow it with your ears, matching its cadence with your breathing. Inhale, exhale, and you feel your body melt into the hammock. The villa itself seems to embrace you. The walls breathe softly, the floor is warm, and even the air seems weighted to encourage ease. Outside, the stars continue their slow, patient drift, and for the first time in weeks, or perhaps months, you don't wonder what time it is. You don't wonder about emails, messages, or responsibilities. You are here, fully here, and even if only for a few hours, that is enough. You take a sip of water from the small glass on the side table, feeling its coolness spread through your chest. The fruit you taste is sweet but subtle. The flavors delicate and lingering just in auto remind you of the luxury of simplicity. You close your eyes and feel the hammock shift slightly under you, the motion barely perceptible but perfectly timed to encourage relaxation. Atany laugh escapes your lips because it is ridiculous how a place so quiet can feel so indulgent. And yet here you are, indulgent without realizing it. A shadow passes across the balcony, soft and unintrusive. A staff member moving silently to adjust a small lamp or straighten a pillow somewhere inside. There is no urgency, no demand, only attentiveness that feels effortless. You notice the meticulousness, but without judgment or pressure. The luxury of the island is quiet, invisible, and completely effective. And as you lean back, the hammock cradling you, the moonlight dancing on the water, and the faint scent of flowers and salt in your lungs, you realize you have never been this relaxed. Even your thoughts about productivity, efficiency, and schedules begin to fade. The island has claimed them as well, slowly, gently, without confrontation. Your shoulders sink further, your breathing becomes a soft, steady rhythm, and the hammock rocks just enough to lull you into a dreamlike awareness. The ocean beyond continues its patient whisper, and you realize you are a part of its rhythm, a single note in an unhurried, eternal symphony. And so you linger, feeling the first brush of sleepiness creeping into your limbs, the subtle tug of your lids, the gentle insistence of a mind beginning to surrender to quiet. This island, a private luxury crafted for peace, has already done what it promised. It has slowed time, softened senses, and invited your body and mind to a place of deep, indulgent calm. Here, at last, you are allowed to exist without hurry, without notice, and without expectation. You wake slowly, not to an alarm, but to the soft shift of light filtering through the tall, curved windows of your villa. The moon has disappeared, leaving behind a delicate early light that seems to move with its own schedule, one the island has carefully designed to be just right. You blink once, twice, and realize immediately that nothing demands your attention. No notifications, no loud voices, not even an intrusive scent. Just the faint aroma of polished wood and the subtle, lingering tropical flowers that cling to the edges of the balcony. You stretch, feeling the hammock cradle you as though it had memorized your shape overnight. Even your pajamas, soft and breathable, seem to have been chosen to slow your movements. Every thread, every weave you whispers the island's silent philosophy. Luxury does not announce itself. It simply exists, elegantly, invisibly. Sliding out of the hammock, your bare feet meet the polished stone floor, smooth and warmed by the night-turned day air. The villa is quiet, but full of small details that speak volumes about care and sophistication. A small side table holds hand-bound journals, their covers soft, leather and slightly sun-warmed from the subtle sunlight filtering in. A delicate lamp casts gentle shadows on the wall, highlighting the understated art. A painting of a distant ocean at dusk. Brushstroke so fine, they seem to breathe when you look long enough. You pick up one of the journals, running your fingers across its cover, feeling the subtle embossing that no one else would notice unless they were paying attention, which, of course, everyone here eventually does. A gentle knock at the villa door announces the presence of staff, but even that is understated, careful, polite. You answer to find a young attendant, barely audible, even as they greet you with a nod so soft it is almost internalized. They carry a small tray, a glass of fresh coconut water, slightly chilled, and a bowl of tropical fruit meticulously cut into perfect, gentle cubes. You accept it with a quiet nod, aware that on most islands or resorts, the act of being served would feel performative, even intrusive. But here it is nothing but service in its purest, softest form. The attendant disappears as quietly as they arrived, leaving only the subtle scent of herbs they carried, mingling with the salt air. Moving toward the villa's center, you notice the architecture is deliberate in every curve and angle. The ceilings are slightly vaulted, allowing light to drift across the room in a way that prevents harsh shadows. Even the floorboards, expertly fitted, seem to whisper with your steps instead of echoing. Every window curves gently outward, softening the edges, transforming the boundaries between inside and outside. You realize that this is how the island handles luxury for its guests. It does not demand attention, it encourages presence, immersion, and subtle delight. Here, extravagance hides in details: polished wood, gentle fabric, soft lighting, rather than ostentation or noise. You pause at the balcony, gazing at the ocean's calm surface, now illuminated by the morning sun's delicate wash of gold. A private pool glimmers faintly, its water so still it mirrors the sky perfectly. A hammock swings gently, its movement almost imperceptible, and you feel a tug in your chest at the realization that such subtle perfection is deliberate. Every villa on this island follows the same principle: invisible luxury. It does not demand admiration. It requires no selfies, no social media posts. It rewards awareness. You step back inside, noticing the small touches. A woven rug, soft and muted in color, lies just so in front of the lounge chair. A small tray holds herbal teas, fragrant but not overpowering, and delicate pastries, flaky and soft, baked fresh for whoever awakens in this villa. You touch it, feeling its warmth, and take a small bite, the flavors subtle, sophisticated, slow. Even the taste seems designed to slow time, to make you savor the moment instead of gulping it down. By now, the villa seems alive in a peculiar way. Not noisy, not intrusive, but subtly aware of your presence. The doors remain open to the balcony, letting in the soft air, the faint sounds of ocean and distant wind through the trees. You move toward the bedroom area, where Tebed's sheets beckon with a soft glow. They are slightly cool to the touch, and as you lie down briefly, you feel the mattress yield just enough, perfectly balancing support and surrender. The villa's design, like everything on the island, feels alive yet invisible, luxurious yet unassuming, meant to cradle rather than impress. Turning your gaze again toward the ocean, you notice the staff moving quietly along Thegrounds, almost invisible shadows among trees and villas. Their presence is soothing, not intrusive. Every action is deliberate, minimal, graceful. A small, quiet nod, a gentle adjustment of a pool chair, the careful placement of a towel on a lounge. These movements are a choreography designed to make luxury feel effortless. The island caters to elite sensibilities, not by shouting wealth, but by making you feel that you are the only person who matters, without ever telling you. You wander to the kitchen area, a small, sleek space with soft wood finishes and muted metallic accents. Nothing is ostentatious, but every appliance, every utensil is designed to perform quietly and efficiently. A kettle hums softly, almost apologetically, and you notice the aroma of freshly brewed tea drifting gently toward you. You pour yourself a cup, feeling its warmth seep into your hands and then your chest, warming you in a way that makes you want to move even slower than before. The taste is subtle, herbal, calming, exactly what the island promised without ever needing to say it. From the balcony, you can now see the neighboring villas, each unique but following the same principle: invisible luxury, privacy, and presence. Some villas hug the forest edge, hidden behind thick, protective greenery. Others sit near the water, their decks jutting delicately above the shore. Every structure is understated, yet every detail communicates thoughtfulness. A curved roofline here, a gentle slope of the steps there, soft lighting that never overwhelms. You realize that designers knew exactly what elite travelers desired: serenity, attention to detail, and an environment that allows uninterrupted presence. You decide to explore the villa further. Sliding doors open into smaller rooms, a study with minimalist furnishings, a small library with carefully curated books, a music corner where instruments rest quietly without expectation of use. Each room exudes calmness, with textures and scents carefully chosen to appeal to multiple senses simultaneously without ever shouting. The smell of polished wood mingles with subtle herbal notes, the soft echo of your footsteps enhanced but never amplified. You pause in front of a small mirror and notice your own reflection softened by the ambient light. Even your presence seems to be integrated into the villa's serenity. A gentle breeze drifts in, rustling leaves outside and carrying a faint scent of ocean salt and distant flowers. You hear a subtle splash from the private pool below, though no one is there. Perhaps a fish has jumped. Perhaps it's just the island playing its soft tricks. You smile faintly and move to the lounge chair, sitting down slowly. The light breeze, the faint warmth of the morning sun, and the invisible luxury around you combine to make a sensation unlike any other. You feel simultaneously pampered and invisible, privileged and anonymous, fully present but gently untethered from the world outside. You sip another bit of tea and take in the view again. The villas stretch along the forest edge and the water's curve, each one distinct yet harmonious. The trees sway faintly, their shadows brushing across stone paths. Somewhere, birds chirp so softly you almost doubt you heard them. This is the language of the island, a constant whisper. Move slowly, breathe deeply, notice everything and nothing. Enjoy the invisible luxury that surrounds you. By mid-morning, you wander outside, letting your bare feet meet the grass, slightly damp with dew. The stone paths feel warm beneath your soles, perfectly balanced to guide you through thegrons without rush. Every element is placed to make you linger, to encourage slow exploration without fatigue. Even the flowers seem to lean toward you subtly, as though acknowledging your presence. You pause at a small fountain hidden behind a thick wall of greenery. Water trickles gently, the sound soft but present. You lean forward, letting the faint mist cool your skin, noticing the delicate details. The curve of the fountain's stone, the slight moss clinging to edges, the gentle reflections of leaves above. Inside the villa again, you find a small note left on the side table. It is simple, handwritten. Enjoy your morning. Let the island guide you. You smile, realizing the subtle humor. It's almost cheeky in its understatement. You probably expected a whole list of extravagant erections. Instead, the island's philosophy is clear. Indulgence is quiet, luxury is invisible, and the world outside is irrelevant here. You sip water, lie down briefly, and feel the gentle sway off the building itself. Even architecture here is designed to lull, slow, and soothe. Hours pass unnoticed, measured only by the subtle shift of sunlight across the villa's interior. You notice the shadows moving slowly along the walls, the pool water catching flecks of light, and the soft motion of leaves outside. You walk again along the balcony, noticing the ocean in a new angle, the distant horizon blurring slightly in heat and haze. Everything seems deliberate, choreographed for your senses without your awareness. Even your thoughts have slowed. Anxiety, deadlines, and the outside world are whispers now, softened almost to nothing. A soft laugh escapes you as you realize something. Even if you wanted to leave, the island would convince you to stay. Its invisible luxury is persuasive, a gentle insistence that slow is better, silence is preferable, and attention is a rare and precious commodity best reserved for the sea moments. You continue to explore the villa and its surroundings, noting small touches, hand-cut coasters, subtle carvings in wood, precisely angled seating that encourages lingering. Even Thea seems to hum softly with intention, carrying sense and warmth in perfect balance. By late morning, you've discovered the small garden attached to the villa, a private patch off greenery with fragrant blooms, small trees, and a delicate water feature. You walk slowly among the flowers, noticing bees moving deliberately, leaves trembling in a soft, unseen rhythm. The design encourages observation without intrusion, every element curated to remind you that here, everything is slow, considered, and meant to delight subtly. You sit on a small stone bench, letting your hands brush the petals and your eyes wander to the horizon. And as you sit, it occurs to you how meticulously the star, architecture, and nature all conspire to create the perfect invisible luxury. Everything is in service of your presence, your calm, your peace. No gesture is superfluous. No sound is wasted. The island has taught you the art of subtle indulgence, a quiet extravagance that is more satisfying than any loud display ever could be. And you smile again, realizing that in this villa, on this island, time itself has surrendered to elegance, patience, and quiet luxury. You wake to the faint warmth of early sunlight filtering through your villa's curved windows, the soft promise of the day ahead. No alarms, no schedules, nothing demanding your attention, just light, gentle and steady, brushing across your face like the kind of caress you didn't know you missed. You stretch languidly, feeling the mattress beneath you yield perfectly, cradling your body while allowing your spine to align naturally. Even your thoughts feel lazy, slowed, unhurried, as if the island itself has given them permission to drift. Outside, the ocean hums softly, its waves barely stirring the sand. Birds chirp here and there, their voices delicate, almost reluctant to interrupt your calm. You step onto the balcony, the stone warm beneath your feet, and take a slow, deliberate breath. The air is fragrant with tropical flora, jasmine, frangipani, subtle hints of hibiscus, and the faint saltiness of the nearby ocean. A hammock sways slightly, though there is no discernible wind, as if inviting you to return to the sweet sway of rest. You sit, leaning back, allowing your body to sink just enough, letting your mind wander lazily over the possibilities of the day. Do you take a walk through the villa's private garden, stroll down to the shoreline, or simply remain here, drinking in the light and warmth? The decision is yours, and the island whispers, gently, that no choice is more urgent than the one you feel drawn to. Eventually, you rise, letting your feet guide you along the soft stone path that meanders through your villa's small garden. Dew clings to the petals and leaves, catching the sunlight in tiny glimmers. Each step feels cushioned, almost like walking on a natural carpet, and you find yourself slowing even further, noticing details you normally overlook. A butterfly coursing delicately on a frangipani blossom, the way morning light catches the curve of a leaf, the subtle patterns of shadows moving across the ground. Everything seems composed to teach you the art of lingering, of presence, of slow awareness. The island's staff appear quietly, almost invisibly, as if they have always been part of the scenery. One places a tray of breakfast on a small table outside the villa, and you notice immediately the care in every detail. Soft, flaky pastries, fruit sliced with almost imperceptible precision, herbal teas in delicate cups. Nothing is extravagant, nothing screams wealth or status. It is understated, meticulously curated, and infinitely satisfying. You pour a cup of tea, inhaling its gentle fragrance, and take a small bite of fruit, tasting the subtlety of sweetness tempered by freshness. Each flavor feels heightened because the world's usual distractions have been stripped away, leaving only pure sensory pleasure. After breakfast, you decide to walk toward the beach. The path winds slowly, shaded by tall tropical trees whose branches sway lightly, creating moving patterns of shadow and light. The sand is cool beneath your bare feet, soft enough to feel indulgent, firm enough to offer gentle support. The shoreline stretches wide, uncrowded and pristine, with water so clear that each tiny, Wave seems to glimmer individually. A few seashells are scattered along the sand, polished smooth by the ocean's endless patience. As you walk, the sound of your own footsteps is muted by the soft hush of the beach, a gentle accompaniment to the rhythm of waves lapping at the shore. Reaching a small cove hidden by jagged rocks and lush greenery, you pause. The water here is tranquil, almost glass-like, reflecting the sky in subtle shades of blue and gold. You remove your sandals, letting the warm sand slip between your toes, and step slowly into the shallow water. The sensation is delightful. A cool kiss against sun-warmed skin, gentle resistance as you move, a soft push back from the ocean that seems designed specifically to remind you that time is optional here. You float for a moment, arms spread, eyes closed, listening only to the gentle cadence of the waves. There is no rush, no agenda, no one to impress. Just you, the water, Thesson, and the calming whisper of solitude. After some time, you wander back toward the main stretch of the beach, noticing small details that previously escaped your attention. The subtle pattern of ripples in the sand, the way morning light reflects off individual water droplets on leaves, the distant sound of a small seabird diving for fish. Everything on this island feels intentional, yet natural, like a world carefully curated four-piece, without needing to assert itself. You pause to observe a small crab scuttling along the sand, marveling at the elegance of its simple, efficient movements, and allow a quiet smile to tug at the corner of your lips. Even this tiny creature contributes to the island's symphony of calm. As the sun rises higher, you return to your villa to change into something lighter, a soft lined outfit, breathable and loose. The villa seems to anticipate your movements. A chair positioned perfectly in soft light, a small towel draped for convenience, a glass of water waiting unobtrusively on the counter. You notice the precision of invisible service here. It is luxurious not through extravagance, but through attentiveness, so subtle you forget anyone else is present. Even your body feels lighter, freer, as though the island has absorbed the tension and left omnipotency and ease. Stepping back onto the balcony, you survey the ocean. Waves shimmer with the sun's new strength, and the horizon seems endless, a wide brushstroke of possibility and calm. You breathe deeply, feeling the warm air fill your lungs, and notice a subtle grin forming. You may have left outside world behind entirely, but in its absence, you are more awake than you have been in years. The island's rhythm has begun to seep into you, guiding your heartbeat, your steps, your breath, into a slow, unhurried cadence that feels both indulgent and necessary. Soon, a small boat appears in the distance, carrying no one, leaving barely a ripple. It is as though the ocean itself has chosen this moment for quiet display. You watch its movement lazily, noticing the way light reflects off the water, the faint hum of wind through nearby trees, the subtle interplay of shadows along the sand. Everything is in perfect alignment with the island's philosophy. Slow, subtle, luxurious, private. You smile again, thinking that most luxury resorts could learn a lot from such quiet attention to detail. The villa staff appears once more, silently placing a tray with a light snack for mid-morning, a soft pastry, a tiny bowl of berries, and a delicate herbal infusion. You accept without ceremony, taking a bite and letting the flavors expand slowly on your tongue. The pastry is buttery but not overwhelming. The berries are fragrant, plump, and subtly sweet. You take another sip of infusion, noticing the faint floral notes and the gentle warmth as it spreads through your chest. Even eating here is an exercise in mindfulness, as though the island has designed every memento encourage slow indulgence and awareness. You take a blanket from a small rack outside and find a shaded lounge on the villa's terrace. Sitting down, you wrap it around yourself and lean back, allowing the faint breeze to caress your skin. The distant water laps quietly, and the occasional rustle of leaves provides a subtle, natural counterpoint. You close your eyes for a moment, letting the island's invisible luxury enfold you completely. It is impossible not to feel spoiled, pampered, and yet entirely unburdened by material demands or loud indulgence. You are wrapped in comfort, presence, and calm, and Theweld beyond the island feels irrelevant, soft, and distant. After a while, curiosity leads you to explore the shoreline further. You wander along a hidden path leading to another small cove, where sand is soft and undisturbed. You notice driftwood shaped by the waves, small shells arranged almost like ornaments, and the faint glimmer of tinnerfish beneath the shallow water. The sun is higher now, casting a gentle warmth that is never harsh. You pause, breathing deeply, letting the calm settle into your bones. Every sound, scent, and sight is amplified by the island's deliberate quiet, and you begin to feel as though the place itself is whispering. You may slow down now. You may indulge in peace. By late morning, the villa staff appears again, carrying a light, calm lunch, a simple salad, fresh bread, and cool water. You sit on the balcony, eating slowly, savoring each bite, appreciating the invisible attention paid to every detail. The slight curve of the bowl, the texture of the bread, the freshness of the greens. Even the act of nourishment feels like a ritual, a part of the island's quiet luxury philosophy. You feel yourself letting go more with every moment, your breathing even, your thoughts gentle, your body relaxed, as though the day itself has slowed to match your own rhythm. Hours drift by unnoticed. You wander through the villa's hidden corners, a small music room with soft instruments waiting for a touch, a library with books chosen for their calm, evocative narratives, a tiny meditation nook positioned just so with sunlight spilling in. Every space is quiet, inviting, deliberate. You spend time exploring each, letting your presence be absorbed into the invisible luxury around you. The island has crafted a world where every action, even the smallest, becomes part of a larger, soothing choreography. By mid-afternoon, you return to the shoreline, noticing a faint shimmer on the water as the sun moves toward its zenith. The ocean is calm, reflecting the sky and the occasional shadow of a cloud drifting lazily. You walk slowly, letting the sand mold under your feet, allowing the gentle waves to brush your ankles. There is no agenda, no expectation, only the pleasure of present seeing the subtle indulgence of time stretching luxuriously before you. You pause again at the small cove, the one tucked behind rocks and lush greenery, and consider staying here for hours, watching, listening, breathing. And so you sit, letting your back rest against a smooth stone, your legs stretched, your hands trailing over the warm sand. The island encourages this, to pause, to indulge in calm, to witness luxury that is invisible, subtle, and wholly restorative. Every sensory detail, the warm light, the soft sounds, the gentle fragrances, the delicate textures, has been curated to slow you down, to remove all urgency, and to draw your focus inward to the soft beat of your own awareness. You leave the beach reluctantly, your feet carrying you along a narrow path that leads into the heart of the island, where the dense forest begins its quiet reign. The trees arch overhead like natural cathedrals, their leaves whispering softly with every gentle breeze, creating an atmosphere that feels almost sacred. Shafts of sunlight pierce the canopy, striking the forest floor in scattered patterns that seem choreographed to your steps, guiding you deeper into the green labyrinth. The scent of damp earth mingles with subtle floral notes, gardenia, hibiscus, and something richer, almost like moss warmed by sunlight. Your breath slow instinctively, matching the pace of this deliberate, natural environment. As you wander further, you notice the subtle luxury of the island revealing itself again, but now in a different form. Instead of marble and polished wood, it is soft stone pathways, hidden benches, and small water features tucked carefully among ferns and flowering bushes. The paths there warm beneath your feet, edged with tiny stones that seem to have been placed by invisible hands, just enough to keep your steps light and guided without ever forcing direction. Each turn presents a small discovery: a delicate orchid clinging to a tree trunk, a carved wooden bridge spanning a tiny stream, a bench shaded perfectly for contemplation. The forest feels designed not just for beauty, but for calm observation, a deliberate slow indulgence that rewards your attention to subtlety. A soft murmur reaches your ears, almost too gentle to register at first. Water flowing over rocks in a hidden stream. You follow the sound and discover a small, private waterfall cascading into a shallow pool, its edges lined with smooth stones and soft moss. The water glistens, catching fragments of sunlight that filter through the treetops, creating a delicate interplay of light and shadow. You remove your sandals, letting your feet touch the warm moss and cool stone, and kneel by the pool's edge, feeling the water lap lightly against your fingers. It is a private sanctuary, tucked deep within the forest, a secret indulgence for those who take the time to notice. Continuing along the path, you stumble upon a garden unlike any you have seen before. It is enclosed by low stone walls covered in ivy, with small lanterns perched at intervals, designed to glow faintly in the evening. Inside, flowers bloom in carefully curated arrangements, some familiar, some exotic, each chosen for fragrance, color, and gentle presence. A small seating area invites you to rest, and you sink into the chair, letting the scent of blooms envelop your senses. You feel as though you have stepped into an entirely different dimension, one where time is optional and indulgence is mandatory. Even your thoughts begin to slow, floating like petals across a gentle stream. As you wander further into the forest, you notice a subtle scent of eucalyptus and lavender on the air. Following it, you come upon a hidden spa nestled among the trees. Its architecture is soft and organic, blending seamlessly with the natural surroundings. Wooden beams, glass walls that catch the dappled sunlight, and open-air treatment areas framed by delicate vines. The space radiates calm, each detail chosen to soothe and restore. You step closer, feeling the warmth of smooth wooden floors underfoot, and notice that even the air is treated, infused with gently aromatherapy that encourages deep, mindful breathing. The spa offers more than services. It offers experiences designed to slow every part of your being. A quiet meditation deck overlooks a small pond, the water perfectly still except for occasional ripples caused by a drifting leaf. A massage area is tucked discreetly to one side, where skilled hands perform their craft with such subtlety that even the sound of their motion is calming. You wander between areas, observing the perfect balance between nature and luxury. Every stone, every plant, every movement is intentional yet unobtrusive, ensuring that your presence is never rushed or interrupted. At a small fountain within the spa, water trickles in a rhythmic, hypnotic pattern. You kneel by it, tracing the edge of the stone with your fingers, feeling the faint vibrations of water moving over the surface. The scent of warm oils mingles with the faint breeze carrying floral and ocean notes, creating an olfactory symphony that invites stillness. You close your eyes briefly, letting sensations wash over you. Your body relaxes further, your mind quiets, and even your heartbeat seems to adopt the soft cadence of the flowing water. A narrow bridge leads you over a tiny stream to a secluded garden with a single pavilion. The pavilion is open on all sides, letting sunlight filter through slatted wooden walls and leaves, casting soft patterns on the polished wooden floor. Inside, a small tea set rests on a low table, with herbal blends chosen for relaxation and subtle indulgence. You pour yourself a cup, inhaling the fragrant steam before sipping slowly. The taste is delicate, layered with floral and earthy notes that seem to expand in your mouth, compelling you to slow even further to savor every nuance deliberately placed to heighten calm. You notice the staff moving quietly among the gardens, almost invisible in their presence. They're just lanterns, tend plants, and ensure every pathway is clear, all without breaking the spell of tranquility. Their movements are so understated that you almost forget they are there, yet their attention is unmistakable. Each gesture, each small act, reinforces the invisible luxury that permeates the island. Service that is present, precise, and entirely dedicated to your ease, yet societal it never intrudes upon your own unfolding rhythm. Walking further along the forest path, you encounter small alcoves carved into the hillside, each designed as a private meditation space. Soft cushions, subtle lighting, and small fountains create environments that feel as if they were waiting just for you. You pause at one alcove, taking acid, and feel the warm stone beneath your feet, the gentle breeze across your skin, and the subtle movement of leaves above. Here, even silence is luxurious, a space curated to let your mind release tension, let thoughts drift without urgency, and let presence expand naturally. Time becomes difficult to measure in this space. You notice the sun shifting in the sky, but on the subtly, almost lazily. Shadows drift slowly, mingling with patches of light, creating patterns that evolve imperceptibly. Birds move deliberately, their chirps soft and spaced, and even insects seem to take part in the island's choreography of calm. You wander further, occasionally stopping to observe the smallest details, a leaf's subtle curl, the ripple of water in a hidden pond, a flower opening in slow perfection. Everything is here to slow you, to encourage observation, and to reward presence. Eventually, you discover a private deck extending over a gently flowing stream. Smooth stones allow you to sit with your feet dangling near the water, watching it ripple around rocks and drift lazily downstream. The sounds are hypnotic, water brushing stone, leaves brushing leaves, a distant bird singing almost imperceptibly. You sit for long minutes, letting your thoughts expand and contract gently, your mind sinking further into the slow rhythm of the island. The invisible luxury of space, of silence, of attentive care surrounds you completely. After some time, you move toward a secluded treehouse spa. A small ladder allows you to ascend carefully, and once inside, the space opens to gentle sunlight, soft wooden floors, and a small canopy bed surrounded by faintly fragrant plants. The spa offers treatments, but here you find a simple ritual of breathing, meditation, and quiet reflection. You lie back, letting the gentle sway of the structure and the subtle aromas coax every muscle to release tension. Your eyes close naturally, and for a few moments you are entirely suspended in the island's deliberate calm. The forest continues to hum softly outside, leaves brushing leaves, tiny creatures moving through underbrush, a small stream winding lazily along its path. Even the occasional staff presence is as gentle as a whisper, reinforcing comfort without disrupting stillness. You notice the perfection of design. Every step, every scent, every sound is calculated to slow you, to immerse you in luxury that is entirely invisible, yet fully perceptible when you pay attention. A soft laugh escapes you as you realize how utterly indulgent this place is, not in extravagance, but in presence. Even your breathing seems to have adjusted, slowing to match the rhythm of water, wind, and the forest canopy above. The spa, the gardens, the forest paths, they are all intertwined, a living meditation in architecture, nature, and subtle service. You wander again, touching leaves, tracing the curve of wooden railings, inhaling scents, listening to water, and savoring the feeling that every moment is crafted for indulgence without excess. By late afternoon, the sunlight filters in golden shafts through the trees, illuminating hidden corners, small sculptures, perfectly placed stones, artfully arranged benches. You pause at each, taking it in slowly, realizing how deliberate each choice is. Luxury here is patience, subtlety, and perfection in small, almost imperceptible details. It is indulgent without arrogance, restorative without ceremony. Every step, every glance, every breath is orchestrated for calm. Hours pass in quiet exploration. You find a hidden tea pavilion beside a slow-moving brook, a place meant for pause and reflection. Sitting on the low wooden platform, you drink tea slowly, noticing every aroma, every texture, every nuance. The forest seems to pause with you, leaves stilling, birds resting, water slowing, as if the island itself conspires to extend this moment indefinitely. Finally, you return to the villa, your body, mind, and senses relaxed in a way that almost feels permanent. Even the walk back feels like an indulgent ritual, each step slow, deliberate, and deeply satisfying. The sun continues its descent, painting golden light across the trees, shadows lengthening softly. You pause at the villa's balcony, noticing the pool glinting faintly, the breeze brushing your skin, and the soft rhythm of the island around you. By the time you settle into the hammock once more, sipping a final cup of tea, you realize that forest paths, hidden gardens, and treehouse spa have worked their magic. Your mind is quieter, your body lighter, and your awareness has shifted entirely to presence, slow indulgence, and invisible luxury. Here, on this private island, you are completely immersed in calm, serenity, and deliberate tranquility. The afternoon sun slowly drifts lower, casting a warm golden glow across the villa's polished roof and the surrounding gardens. You rise from the hammock reluctantly, your body still wrapped in the afterglow of forest tranquility. Today's exploration isn't over. The island has more secrets to reveal, and you feel that gentle tug of curiosity, the kind that whispers softly but persuasively. Follow, notice, savor. You slip into light linen clothes and wander along the stone path that leads toward the villa's library, a hidden sanctuary you've glimpsed from afar but never fully explored. The library is tucked beneath a slight hill, its entrance framed by flowering vines that climb delicately over soft stone arches. A faint aroma of old books, polished wood, and subtle lavender drifts from inside, immediately wrapping around your senses like a warm hug. The doors open with a soft push, and you step inside, noticing immediately the care with which the space has been curated. Tall shelves reach nearly to the ceiling, filled with leather-bound volumes and delicate, hand-stitched journals. Every book appears meticulously chosen for serenity and depth rather than fame or notoriety. Even the lighting seems considered. Soft, warm, and diffused through frosted glass, perfect for reading or simply observing the room without strain. A leather chair sits near a low wooden table, its surface polished to a soft sheen, inviting you to toss it and linger. You oblige, sinking into the chair and noticing the subtle give of the cushion. The room is silent but not sterile. It has presence, a quiet hum of life that is almost imperceptible, like a soft rhythm of your own heartbeat amplified in gentle resonance. You pick up a book at random, running your fingers along its spine and noting the texture of the leather, the delicate impression of the title. Opening it, you find pages filled with calm stories, meditative thoughts, and evocative imagery designed not to thrill, but to soothe and expand awareness. Time passes unnoticed as you explore the library. You wander between shelves, occasionally stopping to read a passage aloud softly, letting the words roll off your tongue like warm honey. The furniture is arranged deliberately for comfort and contemplation, with every chair angled to catch the light, just so, and every small table positioned for convenient placement of tea or journal. You realize that this library is not about books alone. It is about creating a space where luxury, calm, and the mind meet in quiet harmony. Even the floor beneath your feet is carefully finished to soften every step, encouraging slow exploration and deliberate presence. After a long period of wandering and reading, your stomach nudges you gently, reminding you that, even in paradise, sustenance is a quiet pleasure best approached slowly. The staff appear silently, leading you toward a private dining area tucked close to the water. A soft wooden deck extends over the shoreline, lanterns perched delicately along the edges, waiting to glow as Thesson dips lower. The table is set with precision. Fine porcelain, polished silver, and linen napkins that feel soft to the touch without calling attention to themselves. A small pitcher of chilled water, a tray of light appetizers, and a subtle floral centerpiece complete the scene. You sit, and the first course arrives quietly. A delicate salad, each leaf chosen for freshness and texture, rests beside a small serving of perfectly baked bread. The flavors are subtle, layered, and refined, yet they seem amplified because the outside world has been left far behind. You taste each bite slowly, noticing textures, the interplay of flavors, and the gentle weightlessness that comes with unhurried indulgence. Even chewing becomes a mindful act, a part of the island's philosophy of invisible luxury. The sun continues its descent, the sky shifting through delicate gradients of gold, pink, and faint lavender. A soft breeze carries the scent of ocean salt mixed with flowering trees, wrapping around you like a cloak of calm. The gentle lapping of waves beneath the deck provides a hypnotic background rhythm, and you realize that every sensory input has been orchestrated to oscillate your mind and body. Luxury here is invisible, precise, and subtle. It does not demand attention, but it rewards awareness. After the meal, you wander along the deck, sipping water and observing the ferry that rests quietly at the small dock nearby. Its wood gleams softly in the fading light, and the quiet hum of engines seems deliberately muted, almost polite in its restraint. The ferry is small, private, and entirely silent, designed for discretion and peace rather than spectacle. You notice a few passengers already on board, their presence barely registering. They move with the same measured calm as the island itself, an unspoken etiquette of silence, observation, and stillness. Curiosity leads you to explore the small dock area. The ferry rocks ever so gently in the water, its movements barely perceptible but hypnotic. Lanterns along the dock flicker in response to the breeze, creating a soft dance of light across the water. You sit on a bench, letting your feet dangle toward the water, and notice the subtle interplay of colors as the sun kisses the horizon. The waves shimmer, reflecting the golden pink sky, and you feel a gentle sense of awe, not the loud kind that demands applause, but the quiet, deeply satisfying awe that accompanies perfectness and exquisite design. As the sun continues its descent, the island staff quietly prepares the ferry for a brief journey. Its presence is almost ceremonial in its subtlety. Ropes adjusted just so, a soft hum of maintenance in distance, lanterns positioned to guide travelers without intrusive light. You are tempted to board, but even watching from the dock feels indulgent enough. Every detail, the movement off-water against the ferry's hull, the sway of ropes, the faint shimmer of lantern light, feels orchestrated to slow your heart and heighten awareness. You find a small journal tucked on the bench near the dock, a notebook provided for guests to write reflections or thoughts. You pick it up and let your pen move lazily across the pages, recording impressions of invisible luxury, calm, and deliberate presence. Words come slowly, deliberately, each one a small act of mindfulness. You note the soft interplay of light and shadow, the subtle smells of ocean and forest, the hushed movements of staff and other guests. Even writing becomes a ritual, an act that reinforces the island's philosophy. Slow, careful, present. The ferry finally begins a gentle journey along the shoreline, moving with a soft hum that blends into the background of waves and wind. From your vantage point on the deck, you notice the coastline stretching in quiet majesty. Small coves tucked into greenery, villas hidden among trees, the occasional glint of sunlight reflecting off polished wood or water. The ferry itself moves so quietly, so deliberately, that you forget the concept of travel as hurried or loud. Even motion here is calm, deliberate, indulgent, and precise. As the ferry glides along, you reflect on the subtle interactions of luxury, nature, and design you've experienced so far. Each villa, garden, forest path, and private spa is crafted not to impress, but to immerse, to slow, to encourage presence. You notice how even the smallest details, the curve of a wooden railing, the texture of a stone path, the gentle sway of lantern light, have been calculated to heighten relaxation without intrusion. The island's philosophy is subtle, invisible, and utterly persuasive. Here, presence is indulgence, and calm is luxury. By the time the sun dips fully below the horizon, painting the sky in deep indigos and gentle rose tones, the dock and ferry glow with soft lantern light. The water is calm, reflective, and perfectly still, a mirror for the sky above. You step onto the dock, feeling the polished wood under your bare feet, and take a moment to inhale the rich, mixed scent of ocean salt, floral undertones, and the faint warmth of the sun's retreat. Even as evening approaches, the island maintains its rhythm, gently coaxing you toward evening indulgence without rush or expectation. You linger at the dock, noticing the quiet interactions of staff as they prepare lanterns, adjust ropes, and attend to passengers without drawing attention. The invisible luxury is pervasive. Even movement is designed to soothe rather than disturb. You close your eyes briefly, letting the gentle sway of the ferry and the soft whisper of waves imprint upon your senses. Every sensation, the golden light fading into soft twilight, the hushed hum of activity, the reflective waiter, works in concert to slow your mind, steady your heartbeat, and prepare your body for Thievening's quiet indulgence. Finally, you turn back toward the villa, following the softly lit path along the beach. The sound off the ferry fades into the distance, but its influence remains. A slow, deliberate awareness of motion, space, and calm. You pause occasionally to observe lanterns reflecting in small pools off water, shadows drifting softly, and the gentle sway of palms. Each sight, smell, and sound reinforces the island's philosophy, subtle, invisible, and indulgent luxury that never demands brutal ways rewards your attention. You arrive back at your villa just as the first stars pierce the indigo sky. The balcony glows softly, and your hammock sways gently, inviting you to settle. You sit, taking a final sip of tea from the afternoon, letting the lingering flavors mingle with the faint scent of night flowers. The library, private dining, and Sunset Ferry have left an imprint. Your senses slowed, your awareness sharpened, your mind untethered from the world beyond the island. Here in the golden hush opening, you are fully present, fully indulged, and entirely at peace. Night drapes over the island like a soft, velvet blanket, the sky slowly deepening from indigo to rich navy, speckled with countless stars. The air cools slightly, carrying a faint, briny scent of Thiocean mixed with lingering floral hints from the villa's gardens. You step onto the balcony barefoot, feeling the warm stone beneath your feet slowly giving way to evening's calm. The hammock sways gently, inviting you, but tonight the island seems to whisper for movement rather than rest. A slow, deliberate walk along its quiet paths promises new sensations, and Yaobi, letting your curiosity guide you. The first steps onto the soft stone path feel different at night. Shadows stretch long, deep, and intricate, cast by subtle garden lighting hidden among tropical foliage. Lanterns perched on low posts glow faintly, their warm, muted light reflecting in small pools of water along the path. Each step is deliberate, soft, echoing slightly in the gentle hush of night. The trees above rustle as if encouraging your slow pace, leaves brushing one another in a delicate, rhythmic whisper. Even the air seems heavier, laden with the subtle scent of night-blooming flowers, their fragrance richer, almost intoxicating, but never overwhelming. You wander toward the shoreline, guided by the faint, glimmering reflection of moonlight on water. The sand is cooler now, soft beneath your feet, conforming gently to your steps. The waves lap quietly, almost apologetically, as if aware of the serene intrusion of your presence. You notice the first hints of bioluminescence flickering along the water's edge, tiny points off-light dancing on waves and ripples, like millions of miniature stars spilling into the ocean. Each step along the waterline sparks brief illumination as your feet disturb the shallow surf, revealing a subtle glow that seems both magical and intimate. The effect is hypnotic. You pause, letting your toes sink slightly into the damp sand, watching the glow trace the path of each wave. The water's gentle motion mirrors the rhythm of your own breathing, slow, steady, meditative. You feel entirely untethered from the world beyond Theisland, your senses absorbed by the symphony of dark, light, sound, and scent. Every shimmer, every brush of air, every subtle scent has been orchestrated to maximize presence and indulgence without intrusion. Turning inland, you follow a narrow path that weaves through night-blooming gardens. Shadows dance across the soft stone, punctuated by the muted light of hidden lanterns. Flowers exude a subtle sweetness, their petals brushing gently against your fingertips as you pass. You hear distant water trickling over hidden rocks, faint and rhythmic, a lullaby from the island itself. Even the occasional night bird sings with restraint, its notes spaced just enough to enhance, never disturb, the calm. Each sensory detail pulls you deeper into the deliberate luxury of presence. A soft glow ahead signals the villa's night illumination. The pool reflects warm, amber light, its still surface mirroring the sky. The villa itself seems alive at night. Subtle lighting highlights architectural curves, soft shadows emphasize polished surfaces, and the warm glow from inside hints at the invisible luxury that waits quietly behind closed doors. You pause, taking a slow breath, letting the light and shadow mingle with the gentle hum of nocturnal activity. Even the staff moves with deliberate discretion, appearing only when necessary and vanishing almost immediately, leaving the illusion that the island exists for your presence alone. You wander to the villa's balcony again, this time choosing to sit and drink in the night. The Ocean stretches dark and infinite, punctuated by faint glimmers of bioluminescent waves. You trace the glowing streaks with your gaze, imagining the gentle algae or plankton responsible for thy's natural spectacle. The subtle sparkles of light contrast beautifully with the deep darkness off the water, creating a sense of wonder tempered by serenity. You inhale slowly, feeling your chest expand with calm, your muscles releasing the remnants of daylight tension. The villa's interior beckons next. You step inside and notice the faint scent of warm wood mingling with night flowers. Soft lamps cast gentle pools of light across polished floors, and the furnishings glow faintly, inviting quiet reflection. The invisible luxury is everywhere. The gentle hum of an unseen air filter, the subtle softness of textiles under your touch, the careful placement of books, journals, and small decor that beg for observation without demanding attention. You realize that even the night has been designed for calm, slow indulgence. A small tray of light refreshments awaits on the side table, a delicate herbal infusion and a few tropical fruit slices. You sip the tea slowly, noticing the warmth spreading through your chest and the subtle floral notes lingering on your tongue. The fruit is cool, juicy, and soft, a quiet indulgence meant to harmonize with the serene atmosphere rather than overwhelm it. Each sip, each bite is deliberate, encouraging you to slow your mind even further to exist fully in this curated night of presence. Eventually, curiosity leads you toward a narrow pier extending into the dark ocean. Lanterns along, the wooden planks glow faintly, illuminating just enough to see the gentle ripples of water. The bioluminescence continues its silent dance, glowing brighter beneath each step you take. You pause midway, leaning on the railing, feeling the warm night air brush your skin. The gentle rhythm of the waves, the faint scent of salt, and the soft hum of distant nocturnal life combine into a symphony designed to slow thought, steady the breath, and anchor awareness in the moment. The path continues through hidden gardens back toward the forest edge, where the sound of a small waterfall trickling into a private pond reaches your ears. You approach slowly, the soft illumination of lanterns guiding your way. The water glistens in subdued light, and you dip your fingers into its cool surface, letting the sensation ripple up your arms. The night is alive, yet gentle. The island offers motion and sound without disturbance, light without glare, presence without intrusion. You feel entirely wrapped in its careful attention, each detail calculated to lull you further into calm, indulgent awareness. By late evening, you return to your villa, settling into the hammock once more. The night has shifted into deep calm, the stars reflecting faintly in the still water of the pool below. You feel the slow, rhythmic movement of your own breathing, aligning with the distant hum of waves and subtle rustle of leaves. The villa, the forest, the gardens, the bioluminescent shore, they have all conspired to create a night of deep presence and indulgence, one that wraps around your senses like a soft, protective cloak. Finally, you close your eyes, letting the combined luxury of the day and the gentle night settle fully into your body. The subtle hum of the island, the gentle splash of water, the whisper of leaves, the faint scent of flowers, lingers in memory and sensation. You feel your heartbeat slow, your mind quiet, and a deep, restorative calm enveloping you completely. Here, in the invisible luxury of twilight and night, presence and indulgence merge, guiding you effortlessly toward rest, comfort, and the soft, slow descent of sleep. The island is now fully wrapped in the soft, deep stillness of midnight. The stars scatter across the sky like delicate glass beads, each one reflecting faintly in the black water below. You step onto the balcony, feeling the gentle cool of night air against your skin, carrying the distant scent of salt and nocturnal blooms. The hammock sways slightly in the soft breeze, inviting you to lead her, but tonight your body craves movement before final surrender. A slow walk along the villa's quiet paths promises one last indulgence in the island's invisible luxury. The forest is nearly silent, yet alive. Leaves brush gently against one another, a rhythm so soft it feels like the island itself breathing. Occasionally, a night bird calls softly, its voice delicate and perfectly timed, not loud enough to demand attention, but noticeable enough to remind you of life continuing in harmony. Each step you take on the soft stone path feels deliberate, cushioned, and meditative. The shadows of trees and lanterns stretch long, creating a natural pattern that invites contemplation. You pause periodically, inhaling the faint scents of jasmine and frangipani, letting the fragrances intertwine with the cool night air. You reach a small clearing where a private pond glimmers faintly in moonlight. Bioluminescent algae sparkle in soft, intermittent flashes along the water's edge. You kneel, dipping your fingers into the cool liquid, and marvel at the ethereal glow. Tiny ripples spread outward, mirroring the gentle rhythm of your breathing. The experience is hypnotic, almost dreamlike, and you feel your thoughts slow further, aligning with the subtle pulse of the island. Each movement, each glance, each breath is deliberately observed, yet nothing feels forced or artificial. A narrow bridge leads over a small stream into a hidden meditation nook. Cushions rest atop a list wood, faintly warmed from the day's sun, and the gentle aroma of essential oils, lavender, sandalwood, and subtle citrus, invites slow inhalation. You sit cross-legged, letting your hands rest on your knees, feeling the cool night air brush your arms and face. The soft hum of the ocean reaches your ears, blending with the rustle of leaves and distant water trickling from a tiny waterfall nearby. Here, under the starlit sky, the world feels reduced to essential presence, breath, sensation, and awareness. You close your eyes and begin a slow, deliberate meditation, tracing the rhythm of your own heartbeat, the rise and fall of your chest, the faint movements of the forest around you. Thoughts float past without attachment, each one dissolving into the vast calm of the night. You remember the day's adventures, the forest paths, hidden gardens, private spa, library, sunset ferry, and bioluminescent shores. Each memory is vivid, yet infused with serenity. The island has guided you effortlessly through luxury without ostentation, calm without stasis, and indulgence without excess. After meditation, you wander back toward the villa along a winding path lit softly by lanterns. The trees create gentle archways overhead, their leaves whispering quietly. Occasionally, you notice small creatures of the night, a lizard moving along a stone wall, fireflies flickering in the distance, and the soft flit of nocturnal birds. Their movements are unhurried, deliberate, and unintrusive, reinforcing the island's philosophy of subtle presence. You pause briefly to observe as moonlight glinting off a small pond, the reflection fractured gently by a slight breeze, and feel a deep, quiet joy in the simplicity of these small details. Reaching the villa, you step inside quietly. The rooms glow with soft lighting, shadows shifting gently across smooth walls. Everything is in place: polished floors, soft textiles, subtly deco, and a faint scent of flowers lingering in the air. You walk slowly to the balcony, where the hammock sways in welcome. Settling into it, you feel your body yield completely, every muscle softening into its natural shape. You allow the gentle rhythm of swaying, the faint scent of night flowers, and the soft sounds of water and leaves to wash over you. Outside, the bioluminescent shore continues its silent dance, glimmering faintly along the waterline. You reach out a hand, watching your fingers disturb the tiny glowing waves, sending delicate sparks across the sand. Each tiny illumination feels like a private celebration of the quiet luxury that surrounds you. You breathe slowly, noticing how each inhale and exhale aligns naturally with the subtle rhythms of the island. You feel the day's indulgences, forest exploration, private spa, library reflections, and bioluminescent wonder saturate your being with calm and satisfaction. The villa staff moves quietly around the property, adjusting lanterns or attending to unseen tasks. Their presence is imperceptible yet comforting, ensuring that everything remains perfectly arranged for your ease. You feel entirely unburdened by responsibility or expectation, cocooned in the invisible luxury that defines this private paradise. Even the sound of your own heartbeat seems to slow, joining the gentle cadence of waves, rustling leaves, and distant nocturnal creatures. Lying fully back in the hammock, you allow your eyes to drift closed, your mind tracing Fede's journey in soft, deliberate loops. The forest, the beach, the villas, and the secret corners off island weave together into a seamless memory of calm, indulgence, and presence. You notice how every detail, no matter how small, has contributed to your slow unwinding. The tactile softness of sand, the reflective shimmer of bioluminescent waves, the delicate aroma of flowers, the subtle play of shadow and light. Each sensory layer reinforces the island's guiding principle: presence is indulgence, and calm is luxury. As the night deepens, the hammock rocks gently, The ocean hums softly, and the stars shift imperceptibly overhead. You feel the last remnants of tension dissolve into the warm night air, leaving nothing but expansive relaxation. The invisible luxury that has surrounded you all day now settles fully into your body, mind, and spirit. You realize you are not just on an island. You are a part of it, gently cradled by its rhythm, its calm, its deliberate serenity. Slowly, your breathing becomes shallower, lighter, almost synchronized with the lull of distant waves. The soft scent of flowers and salt air fades gently into memory. The swaying hammock, the subtle creak of wood, and the distant whisper of ocean water carry you effortlessly into the deepest realms of rest. Tonight, the island has gifted you an experience that is invisible, deliberate, and utterly restorative, leaving you cradled in serenity. The night stretches endlessly, soft and forgiving, as you feel every muscle release completely. Your mind drifts freely, thoughts dissolving like morning mist, leaving only the slow rhythm of breath and heartbeat. The island seems to hum quietly around you, a gentle accompaniment to your deepening rest. Leaves rustle softly in the breeze, waves lap at the shore in delicate repetition, and the faint scent of nocturnal flowers lingers, soothing every sense. Your body feels weightless, as if floating above the hammock, cradled by invisible hands, guided into calm. Even the smallest sensations become gentle lullabies. The soft press of sand beneath bare feet earlier today, the subtle shimmer of bioluminescent water, the delicate warmth of lantern light fading into shadows. Each memory folds into the next, creating a seamless tapestry of peace and quiet indulgence. There is nothing to worry about, nothing to plan, nothing pressing. Here, in thequiet luxury of presence, you are entirely safe, entirely calm, entirely yourself. As your breath lengthens, each inhale draws in gentle warmth, each exhale releases lingering tension. Your thoughts become soft echoes, fading into the background, leaving only stillness. The island's rhythm, the gentle sway of your hammock, and the soft hush of nature around you merge into a single, seamless lullaby. Even the stars above seem to pulse gently, nodding to thequiet energy of rest. Now, as your eyes close fully, the day, the night, and the island itself fold into one perfect, unbroken calm. Every detail, every sensation, every whispered luxury remains with you softly, fading only as sleep deepens. You are cradled, you are still, you are free, and the island's serenity carries you gently into the deepest, most restorative rest imaginable.